Hello, hello, and hello. How are you all doing tonight? I am Coach Michelamonè,
And I am Coach Vaun, the Love Alchemist,
and we are his
and her perspective.
perspective.
One of these times we're gonna get that right.
Right. We're working on it. Look, yeah, they have to give us some grace.
Yeah,
We're working on it. We did do it though. We
yeah. Timing is a little off, but we'll get there.
right. We working it out. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We supposed to do that first. But here at His and Her Perspective, we find common ground to harmonize relationships. And today we're going to talk about where did we go wrong. Say the word. Why can I not say this word? Disintegration. Thank you. Of Black love.
Yeah.
So before we move forward, let's talk about what's in your cup. What's in your cup, man?
You know me, I love the herbal teas, and so today I'm drinking rhodiola.
Oh, well, I gotta get some of that. I gotta
Yeah,
get some.
it's like a nice little calming, relaxing tonic, and it's good for you. So, they call it an adaptogenic herb, and
I love
real good for it's good for the mind, it's good for the body. What you drink
What's
in your cup?
say it again. Adaptogenic.
Yeah, the word is adaptogenic or an adaptogen. And so what that means is basically, um, let's just say hormones, for instance. If your hormonal levels may be a little high, then it'll level them out and bring them down. If your hormonal levels are a little low, then it'll bring them up. And so just based on what the body needs, it intuitively, I don't know how it does it, but the universe is a marvelous and miraculous thing. And so these things somehow level your body out. They find the harmonious biorhythm, if you will, and it works. This is why I'm always so cool.
Man, you are too cool. You like so cool. You just too cool, right? I'm gonna be like you one day instead of being all over the place. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some of that, because I could use that today, for real.
I got you. Say less. What's in your cup?
I am drinking coffee. It is a caramel vanilla coffee, but it's iced coffee today because those hormones are acting up and it's hot because I'm having hot flashes over here. Yeah, so the iced coffee is really good.
It's warm in Georgia. It's a little bit too warm to be drinking hot coffee in sunny South Georgia right now.
It really is today. It really is. So I had to bring a little bit of cool with me. So yes, absolutely. So we got a hot topic here today. You excited? I'm excited.
I am. This is this is a good one. This is a good one.
We're gonna have some fun with this one. So we hope that you all will share because sharing is caring. Make sure that you go ahead and start a watch party with your friends, your family. Get your boo on the line. Tell them to put the phone to it. Tell your girl to come on over on the couch so that y'all can sit down and watch this on your computers or your phone, your tablet, whatever you're watching this on. Just make sure that you're sharing because sharing is caring. Just share it and forget about it. Okay.
Hit that beautiful like button for us. Hit that beautiful like button for us and share the video.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, how about this? Why don't you, because we are going to talk about Black love today. And so if you believe in Black love, make sure that you are sharing this and hashtagging Black Love Matters.
Ooh, nice. Good one.
How's that?
Black Love Matters. We have 2 people in the feed already. They joined in.
Yes, I love it. Thank you all so much. I'm over here. I have to watch comments and everything from my other page. So we're going to be going back and forth. So let's get into this. This is going to be good. First of all, what does Black love mean to you anyway, Vaun? What does that mean?
Oh, it means a lot. Let me just give a little bit of context to it. So I remember some years ago, I was watching this special on CNN with Anderson Cooper.
Okay.
And it was the doll study.
Okay.
And so in this doll study, they had these children. They took Black children, white children from the North and from the South. And they had these color this color chart of dolls. So all of the dolls looked exactly alike on this chart, and it went from a pale color white all the way down to the darkest brown. And so they were asking these children, which doll is the ugly doll? Which doll is the one that's most likely to get in trouble? Which one is the one that's most likely to steal? And all of these negative ideas. And invariably, the children all selected the dark skinned doll with all of the negative attributes. And then they asked the children, which one would you want to be friends with? Which one is likely to be honest? Which one is likely to tell the truth? And all of these positive attributes. And so invariably, the black children and the white children across the board, they chose overwhelmingly the white doll, or the lighter skin shade of the spectrum. And so, you have to ask yourself, what is it that would make 3-year-old children as young as 3 years old, were ingrained with these ideas? What would make a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old child choose invariably to associate black skin or dark skin with all of these negative attributes? And then, of course, conversely, what would make them choose the lighter skin dolls for the positive attributes? Right. And so in that, we realize, to make a long story short, we realize that much of what this is about is a systemic issue as much as anything. So it's a socio-economic and political ingraining of negative ideas associated with our skin coloration, who we are, right? I said all that to say this: Black love is a direct defiance to that idea. It's a direct opposition. It's almost, you could almost say that Black love is the most revolutionary thing that you can do, because in spite of all of these different aspersions that have been cast on us and all these different ideas that have, since we were literally in the womb and the first time that we could turn the television on, we've been bombarded incessantly with these ideas of us being less than. And so for us to still rise from that and aspire to love ourselves and to love each other, it is probably the single most revolutionary thing we can do. So in a nutshell, what is Black love? I would say Black love is revolutionary.
I love that. That was amazing. I love that. That is that's good. That's heavy, man.
Yeah.
That's really good. I don't know if I could come behind that one.
Maybe I should have. I told you ladies first.
Man, you messing me up on that one. I'm like sitting there like, tell me more, Well, I believe that it's an understanding between the two. Well, I won't even say two, because we have our children, we have our family, we have our friends. Black love between people that have been through some things. They understand the trial is a part of the equation, but they fight no matter what, because they understand endurance, faith, and hard work is what will get them through. But through it all, they're still standing. Like you said, it's a part of being the opposite of what we've seen. We've been systemically beaten down. We have been challenged in who we are. We have been told, like you said, that we're less than. We have been consistently placed in the back, in every area, whether it be, with slavery, whether it be with the man versus the woman, whether it's so many different areas that we've been placed into these boxes and allowed to be let out. But we have to, I think that once we stand, which we always do, we never just lay down and let it happen. Doesn't matter what we've gone through, we're able to just still be standing. So I think that's Black love to me.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Even though they tried to bury us, they just didn't know we were seeds, right?
Right. They tried. Yeah. Ruben said you're brilliant. I love that.
Ruben said that?
Yes.
Oh, that's high praise. That's high praise hearing that from Ruben. I appreciate that, sir.
All right. He said sent those ideas subconsciously. They did send those ideas subconsciously through us, programming through the children's situation. through making sure that it's a lot of different areas from the church to the workplace to the system that we have been made to follow, not really. We have had a choice, and then it was taken from us during the 60s when we were doing it, 50s and 60s, when we had control of our communities. And so I think that it just, even like as far as love is concerned, bringing up one of the statistics that I was going to talk about is, I'm sorry, some things popping up on my screen over here. Talking about like around the 60s and the beginning of the 60s, Black people, we had a very low rate of divorces. Very, very low. I think it's something like 70% of us, 64% of African Americans were married in 1964. And in 2020, 23% of us.
Yeah.
So it is like we talked about, the disintegration of it. It has been broken up. So one of my things is, how do we know it's broken. We know that there is some issues with it. And I think that me and you are kind of on that same page. We're those solution oriented people. How do we fix that? What I'm saying? What happened? Where do we, I guess, where do we go wrong? What do you think?
Yeah, to your point when you said that we had a choice, and oftentimes that choice was death, unfortunately. So either you survive, or you may sacrifice your life in the effort to maintain what it is that that's valuable to you.
Right.
And so many we have had many who have held forth and still to this day fight to maintain what's valuable to us, what's precious to us. And so where do we go wrong? I think one of the primary ways we went wrong is that we began to internalize ideas that run counter to the constructive outcomes that we want. So in other words, if you want, let's just take, for example, my wife and I, if I want a good outcome from my marriage, then I have to sow good seed into my marriage. I can't be at the club at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and still expect her to be a good wife. And so it's in this context that I'm saying what we've done is we've accepted, unfortunately, some of these ideas. Like I said, in this doll study, what could we have done different? One of the things that we could do, unfortunately, it's in our music, it's in all of our entertainment, it's in the television. And so we have to be very mindful of even the things that we allow our children to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're being taught, if these children, this study was, I want to say maybe 15 years ago. And then that was one that was done on the heels of Brown versus Board of Education in the 50s. And so they had this science in the 1950s that this doll study and the ingraining of destructive ideas into our psyche, this was happening even back then. So unfortunately, this internalizing. And so we have to change our minds. We have to look, even I don't like to get, too deep into the Bible, but, I love the jewels, the pearls of wisdom that we can find in some of these scriptures. And it said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to transform anything, the first place that we have to make this transformation is going to be in our mindset. And so that's by wholesale rejection of many of these destructive ideas. But first, to your point, we have to identify what they are. And unfortunately, most of them come through the public school system, but also in what we call entertainment.
Right. You're absolutely right, because if we don't do that, we can't just say, oh, I'm going to do that, or we need to do something about it. We really have to diligently. There's a scripture, and I'm paraphrasing, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about we have to take it by force. And we can't just sit back and go, oh, well, that's harmless. No, it's just a movie. No, it's not just a movie. Right. It's not just a TV show. It's not just a song. These things have been systemically programming us for a long time. And they talk about, I've heard a term that says it takes 17 times to take out one negative, 17 positive things to erase one negative. So we have a lot of work to do. And I think that one of the things that we really have to get to we have to start at is stop thinking that we know everything.
Yeah.
When we get to the place of, hey, you know what? I don't know it all. So let me sit down and listen to some wisdom. Let me go find that book. Let me go listen to that podcast or that visual cast. Let me go do something that's going to help me grow and not stay where I am. Because so many times we keep seeing that, you know, I'm good. No, you're not. Our communities are broken, and it's breaking our children. And those are the ones that's going to go after us to keep going. And if they have, where are they at? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that we just really, we gotta get better. And
you know, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, to your point, you know, many of us, because of all of these systemic ideas, we began to see ourselves in many regards the same way that racists see us. And so this is why you can have a black child point to the black doll and say that's the one that's most likely to steal, to destroy, to lie, to cheat.
Yeah.
See, we've begun internalizing these ideas. And I was listening to a presentation, and it was this guy, man, I want to say his name was Jamil Muhammad.
Okay.
And we were talking about the three sciences that, so even though they let us have these historically black colleges and universities, these HBCUs, there were three sciences that were agreed upon. And I don't know who made this agreement, but they agreed that there were three sciences that we wouldn't be taught. There was the science of economics, the science of war, and the science of relating or mating. Yeah. And so it's no coincidence that as we fast forward to where we are right now, that all of these, we're discombobulated. We, you know, our men and our women, we have this seemingly ongoing war against each other where, you know, she's blaming him and he's blaming her as the origin of the problem. And none of us is the origin of the problem.
None.
You were telling, what was that you were telling me some earlier in the week about some friends of yours and about what they were taught as children?
Yeah, so I did, I have a program called Marriage Materials, and it teaches the woman what that means, really. Goes through the whole process from, you know, roles and all of that. Sex, we talk about everything. And so I when I first put the program out, I sent it to like 20 different women. And I have a Caucasian woman that's been my friend. I love her since high school. And I call her a sister from another mister. I have a Asian woman, she's Filipino, who I've been friends with for the last, 2020, for the last 14 years. And I also sent it to another Caucasian woman that I have been friends with since high school, because I trust their value of their word. And about most of them were all Black women, because that's my niche. And so all of the Black women were like, oh my God, Michelamonè, this is going to be amazing. We really need this. This is going to go over well. We need to get this in the churches. We just, all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm excited. Like, oh, we got this. And my other friends who are Caucasian and Asian were like, we know this. I was like, what do you mean you know it? I said, you mean you heard about it? She's like, no, we were taught this in high school. This is a part of our coming of age. And I said, well, okay. So I had to ask a lot of questions, like, what do you mean you were taught this? Oh, we were taught how to be wives. We were taught what it means for the roles. We were taught about the finances. We were taught everything in your program. They actually went through classes and were certified and all these different things. And I'm sitting there going, we had nothing. We have, when it's in the Bible, go read the word and you're going to know what you need to do with your husband, honey. Mm. So when the marriages fail and you're like, then they want to say you didn't pray enough. What? I know I wasn't equipped. Nobody told me that I had to go through some things. Nobody told me that versus me saying, oh, no, you will not do this. Bad, let me pack my stuff up and go. That, no, you need to sit down and have some communication, talk about these things. Nobody told me all of these types of things, you know? So I was really outdone that they actually, through their church, through their institution of that governed their communities, they taught them finances. I mean, all of these things that we've never even encountered. So, and it just goes to show, like you just said, because I knew exactly where you were going when you sound like, yes, it has been systemically done to us on purpose. And instead of us looking outside of where it came from, we looking at each other. You did this. Now you did this. No, don't argue with each other. We didn't do it to each other. We didn't have the power to do it to each other.
So watch this. Ingrained in the fabric of America, in the American cultural fabric, is success for them and failure for us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so what it sounds like is that, you know, who knows what might come, you know, 20, 30 years from now, 100 years from now, who might come along and give us some ideas that may even be better than some of the ideas that you and I are sharing. But what I do know is that for right now, God sent us.
Come on.
And so we ain't waiting on nobody to do nothing, to use my best English. You know, I think that this is why I'm so thankful for meeting you. And that's a story in and of itself, the way we met.
Let's tell that story. Because this story is great, y'all. Y'all have to just tell the story.
So we were both taking an online coaching class. And so in the back and forth of exchanging ideas in this class, we ended up connecting on Facebook. And so that was about 2 years ago.
Right.
And at least 2 years ago, maybe even a little longer. But anyway, it wasn't until recently that you started showing up in my news feed. And probably like a month or so ago, that I said, man, okay, I like some of the things that she's talking about. So I started commenting on your thread and we started going back and forth and exchanging ideas. And then I said, man, you know, some of this stuff might be a little too deep for the thread. Let's take this offline. Let's talk offline.
Right.
And we began talking about basically building what we've established now. Right. And but you can add the other element to that.
Okay, so I want to add a little bit to that part because this wasn't so. When you connect with someone and it's purpose there, you don't pick up the purpose and go, well, let me go pray about it. I'm just going to talk to the Lord and see what I need to do. No, the Lord already put purpose in you. So you go, we got purpose. Let's do this thing, right? So it was that instant, oh, we need to do this. Okay, so we talked about it and we put it into place. So then, like, you know, I'm trying to figure out, let me find out who this guy is because I know he's been on my page and all of these things. So I started looking on his page and okay, we connected. I know, how you know this person? How you know that person? So we had our meeting. I'm like, so how do you know? And she's on here, Nina. Hey, Nina. I'm like, how do you know Nina? He was like, oh, that's my family. I'm like, so Nina's my family too. So I'm like, wait a minute. So we gonna leave some of those details out. Long story.
Right.
Long story short, we are family through marriage.
Yeah. And
we had no idea. So we knew that there's a connection there, and yeah, we're family.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie.
Yep, that's my nephew.
Yeah. Small world, right? They say 6 degrees, right?
You say what?
They say 6 degrees of separation, right?
6 degrees of separation. That is amazing. It's amazing though. But you know, we when you are supposed to be connected, because we never know that connection that we're connected through could have been the reason that it could have happened, and it didn't happen that way, right?
Yep.
So, but I love it. I love it. I am excited about this venture that we got, because this is gonna bring some light to the world, and I am in it with you. And I love even that our dynamics of our relationships are totally at the opposite end of the spectrum. So to tell you all even how much information. So we just got a lot. Here Vaun has been married for 30 years. You know, that's a blessing in itself. And for y'all don't know me, I've been married and divorced 4 times. So we got all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's beautiful that we can still see the same light, that marriage is beautiful, love is beautiful, and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited.
Me too. Me too. And it's we off to a good start, and I think it's only going to get better. And you know, so we haven't unveiled this yet, but within the next week, we'll be starting our podcast. So, yeah. So we will be recording and downloading it. We're uploading some nice little tidbits that you can take on your drive to work with you.
Yes.
I have a fun fact.
Okay, tell me.
Or maybe I should say a not so fun fact.
Okay.
So we're talking about all of this. Where did we go wrong, and the internalizing of some of these destructive ideas. And you know, there was this movie called Goodbye Uncle Tom. I think that was the title of it. And you know, these days when somebody is acting inappropriately, I'll say, you know, we have all these derogatory terms, and you know, some people might call him a sellout, and others might call him an Uncle Tom. But most of us don't know that Uncle Tom was actually the good guy.
Right.
Okay, that's one. So this is this whole our reality being kind of flipped upside down, and we're embracing ideas that run counter to who we really are. Another one of those derogatory terms is Sambo. You may call somebody, or I don't, but you hear the term in the same line as Uncle Tom. You might call somebody a Sambo. Oh, he's a Sambo. He's a Uncle Tom. He's, you know, another word for sellout. Well, they didn't tell us that Sambo or Sambo is actually the Asian black god. So he was the first black god in Asia, like right alongside the Buddha. So the Buddha was, if you look, the Buddha had cornrows, right?
You know, I never paid any attention to that.
Right. So the Buddha had cornrows, and the first black deity or god in Asia was Sambo, or one of the first black gods. And so again, this is another one of those scenarios where they took our reality, flipped it upside down, gave it back to us, and have us using these terms as derogatory toward each other. Here's one final one. So the word black can actually be traced back to Proto-Indo-European origins through the word. So we spell it B-L-A-C-K, but in Indo-Europe or Indo-European culture, it was spelled B-L-A-C, which actually means pale or colorless or albino.
Really? So
a black person actually meant someone that was fair skinned. And a derivative of that word, it actually means devoid of color and bleach. And you can even see it in Latin now or in Spanish, because blanc or blanco means white. Right. And so they were the original so-called black people. And check this out. It was thought of several hundred years ago that the darker your skin was, the closer to God you were. I'm going to say it again. The darker your skin was, the closer to God they thought you were. And so there was a term that they would use when your skin was dark and dark and darker, and they would actually call you white. Not because in reference to the color of your skin, but the white in that term was to denote purity.
Wow.
So when the Bible says, wash me white as snow.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
That's good.
Yeah, so that's my little fun fact.
That was beautiful fact. I love it.
So
So I love this because look, I've been hearing people say, like, you know, because of the whole things with the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, all of these people and the rights of it, why do they hate us so much?
You want me to answer that, or you got that?
you just
you know, again, these are theories. Right? These are theories, but much of the theory is rooted in this idea that, again, we're talking about the racists. We're talking about the people who hate you, right? So to answer your question, those who hate you because they ain't you.
Come on. And that's the truth. Because it's, man, they don't know what they got. They don't know what's about to happen.
Oh, listen, family, listen what I'm trying to tell you. Get in the sun. Get in the sun, because listen, this idea that, you know, we're trying not to get too dark. I don't want to go to the beach too early because I ain't trying to get too black. And listen, man, the sun is your friend. You are literally a child of the sun.
Of the sun.
And when you talk about the single most important nutrient on the planet, they come from the sun. And it just so happens that the darker your skin is, the more sun you need, because your melanin slows down the absorption of that sun. So the darker your skin, the more it slows down the absorption. So the longer you need to be in the sun. And conversely, this is why the lighter your skin is, or the fairer your skin is, the less time you can tolerate being in the sun. As a matter of fact, you'll burn. So, you know, all of that within the context of what Black love means, you know, we have to flip this thing back on its head, because what we've been given is a vulgarized, bastardized regurgitation of what's real in this world and on this planet, and what's actually good for us. And so we got to flip that thing on its head and begin embracing the origins of who we are. And it is in that we'll begin to realize, again, when I say realize, I mean REALEYES, realize with your real eyes who we are and what we're supposed to hold dear.
Yes. Which is a direct, even with, okay, and I might, so don't go outside, stay in place so that you don't get the sun.
Look, I'm not trying to tell nobody to violate, you know, medical protocol or whatever, but you can at the very least go in your front yard.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a mask on to be in your front yard. Ain't nothing out there but plants and grass, trees.
Right. Because that vitamin D is what you need. Guess what? You don't go outside in the sun, you're not getting the nutrients into your body that you need to fight off that thing.
Yeah. And you know, the reality of it is that the overwhelming majority of us are vitamin D deficient.
Yes.
And so this is why many of us are fighting depression. Yes. Because if you deprive yourself, if you're deprived of vitamin D in the form of sunlight, now you can go take pills and that'll, many doctors believe that'll help to kind of counteract some of the deficiencies that you might be dealing with on a biological level. But the reality is, the only way to get vitamin D into the brain is through the eyes via sunlight. And so we need that vitamin D, because the vitamin D that comes from the sun is the only form that's actually going to fight depression. Yeah. So
it's a whole bunch.
We're way off the rails. We're supposed to be talking about relationships.
No, that is talking about relationships. Go take your boo thing and go for a walk in the sun.
Right. And this is, I mean, I guess it still is. in the context of relating because it's germane to how we see one another, how we relate to one another. So I think it's all relevant. I think it's all pertinent and valuable. So I don't mean to do that all the time. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine because I'm over here like at all. Like, man, I wish I could sit here and take some notes. I should have let you have this by yourself so I can listen.
You're being far too kind. Far too.
No. She said somebody needed to hear this. So for real, we have to understand. You cannot. And because my question to you, which is what brought all of this up, is where did we go wrong? So now that we know why we are where we are, because this wasn't caused by us. This was systemic. This was something that was put on us by all of the things that you talked about because of the things that you just talked about. So now we need to talk about where he said, throw those sunglasses in the trash.
Yep. Sunglasses are not your friend. Now, some of us have a super sensitivity to the light, and so we can only tolerate it in small doses, if at all. And that a lot of that deficiency is what I'll call it, is rooted in the idea that we don't take in the nutrients that we need. And so our eyes are weaker. Even me, I mean, I've been wearing glasses since I was a child, and I didn't realize that all of the sugar that I've been eating, the obsession that I've had with sugar all my life, directly correlates to the weakness in my vision, my inability, and the sensitivity that I have to the light. And so over the years, I've trained myself to be more and more tolerant of the light. So even if you have to go out there with your eyes closed and face the sun with your eyes closed, you can still get that sunlight in your face, in your eyes, through your eyelids, and begin working your way into it gradually. And then it's less intense during the first hour of sunlight. The first hour of sunrise and the last hour prior to sunset. And so you can go out there even then and just be purposeful in making sure that you get some of that sunlight into your eyes. And over time, that'll help to refortify and re-strengthen your eyes.
That's beautiful. I love that. And again, this is still information tied into Black love, because the thing is, once we know better, once we know the information, once we have the knowledge, because they always talk about knowledge is power. No, the knowledge is the information. The power is utilizing that knowledge. Right. So when we get that, we put that information into action in our relationships with each other, with our friends, with our children. We're now sharing that information. That's part of the relating. That's part of us getting back to where we're supposed to be, which is, in our power already. If we're, we need to know who we are.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. We are not just happenstance kings and queens because we want to, what's up, my brother? You a king, you a queen. No, we really are. We really are the chosen people. We really are, we're them. Okay, so we really need to get back to that place and know who we are so that we can stop exterminating each other. We can stop bringing each other down, tearing each other up, and doing everything except for coming together and building each other up, because that's what it's really going to take. Nina says that this is a great topic. Health is important in any relationship, healthy relationships. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we find ourselves often gravitating toward personalities and images that aren't good for us, and when you just, even as a young man, I gravitated toward some of these images, these ideas. And when your compass ain't tuned right, you will emulate images and people that aren't worth emulating.
Yeah.
And so this is why they say in the land of the blind, a one-eyed man can be king. Right. So I think just getting back on our square, and I think, just with what you and I have put together and what we're doing here, this is a good start.
Yeah, it is.
Getting back in tune with some healthy ideas about relating, love and hip hop, and Housewives of Atlanta and all this. I mean, there's so much garbage on TV, and people are really getting their ideas about relating through what entertainment.
Yeah, and it's all.
I just learned how to do that this week. So
you just learned how to do that. I always do that. And they do it. It's all negative. Everything that's positive, like, you know, in working up the information for this show, you know, doing some research and stuff, everything that they keep on the show that has been running for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years is negative depictions of who we are. You know, when you have things like, there was a show called Black Love that was on the OWN channel. And it was talking to different couples and how they overcame, which if we overcome by the words of our testimony. So if you're showing me what you did and I can see that and then see how you overcame it, then I can learn from that. Oh, but that was only on for a year. Yeah. When you talk about different things like, what's another show that didn't depict us in a bad light as much? Queen Sugar. You know, when you see different things that, and it shows us in a better light, not necessarily the best, but when they show these different shows that are showing us where we are doing it, we're building up each other, we're strengthening each other, they snatch that stuff off really quick, you know, and it doesn't stay on long at all. So go ahead.
Go ahead. I get a little too excited. Go ahead.
That's okay. We have to really pay attention to that, and we have to understand what is really happening so that we can stop fighting each other. Because we're going to keep doing this over and over and over again. It's going to be this complete cycle that we keep going through if we don't stop and do something now. Yeah. And like you said, that's why I love what we're doing, because it's not going to just be us talking at people. You know, it's going to be us teaching some things, doing some live seminars. We're going to be doing a lot of different things that's going to be able to build our people back up. And so we hope that y'all keep watching us, because
stay with us.
We here.
You know, and it's funny because just to your point about how quickly they take things off the air that seem to be good for us. They try to make it seem like we don't want it. You know, like the people aren't interested, and so this is why they show stuff like Love and Hip Hop. But I remember when Lauryn Hill's first album came out, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Man, classic, right? I still listen to that album to this day. And just really good, positive, uplifting music. And for all of a sudden, she went crazy and she couldn't make that type of music anymore. And we didn't want that type of music anymore. But meanwhile, her album sold millions of copies.
Yeah.
So it's a testament to the fact that the people do want it. It's just that the industry is not encouraging that type of music. I was listening to a young brother named Wise Intelligent. He was from the Poor Righteous Teachers. And he has a series of these videos out, and he was talking about how the record execs, the A&R execs, they won't let you put certain stuff on the record. They are encouraging these young men to sing about things and to talk about things that aren't good.
Right.
So this guy, Future, the rapper Future, had this hit song, Molly Percocet. And the beat sounds good, and the rhythm is catchy and all of that. But he's promoting drug use. And so when they talk to him off air, he don't even use those drugs. He doesn't even use those drugs, but he's incentivized to talk about these types of things. And so we have to become more aware of what's being put before us. You got to become aware of what's on your plate before you eat it.
You have to. You really do. And I'm trying to figure out how to, I don't want to get real deep. We have to understand that this is not something that they just thought of yesterday. That they go, oh, you know what, let's do this. This is something that has been written, that has been planned out, and has been strategically implemented. We're talking about PDF documents. If you really want to go and find out what's really happening to our people, the folk need to go look, because now that we have the World Wide Web, Oh, it lets us see a whole bunch of things if we know what to look for.
Yeah.
You just need to go and look for those documents. It talks about the agendas that have been placed upon the Black people. I mean, from the breakup of the marriage, the breakup of the family, to the education and the redlining and the red shirting, called red shirting with our children, and making sure that they don't get the education that they have been they should have been getting. The red lining as far as our homes and the things that we need to have really for us, to be able to have a surviving and thriving community. All of these things have been set in a boardroom with the other persuasions sitting around going, how can we break this down? How can we do this? Okay, so we need some money to do this. All right, you got your million, put your million in. All right, you put yours in. We're going to put this money in, and it's going to look like it's a caucus to do something of good, and then they put these things out. Oh, and then they hide behind things that we're supposed to be. I ain't gonna leave that before somebody shut us off and we just got home.
Look, just to your point about what we can do. So I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret where I get people, like to say that, you seem to know a good bit about relationships. So I'm gonna tell y'all where I get my relationship ideas from. I watch Animal Planet and National Geographic. That's where I get my best ideas about relationships. So one of the relationships that I'm amazed by, I'm enamored with, is the lions. I love watching the lions, right? Now, usually one male lion to a pride of lionesses. Now, we don't get down like that. We are much more, one man, one woman, right? But the relationship is still, there's a balance in that relationship. And so I talked about this earlier in the week, where the lionesses, they go out and they do all of the hunting. When there's a male in the pride, the lionesses, the female lions, they go out and they're the ones that do the hunting. And the male is the one that primarily does the protecting, right? And so kind of like if you juxtapose that to our community, they've flipped us upside down, where the Black collective is the only one whose women categorically out-earn them, the man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So every other demographic, Asian men, white men, Hispanic men, all of the other men out-earn financially the female, whereas in our community, again, everything they give us has been flipped upside down. And so now the Black female out-earns the Black male.
Right.
We are not to be disturbed by that. Again, she can go hunt, she can go get it. All we got to do is be present to protect. There's still a role to play, right? So I'm not going to compete with my woman. My woman is not going to compete with me. I wish my woman would make more money than me. She ain't gonna have a bigger cheerleader than me, right? Because we're gonna do this thing, because we're not. What we don't have is competition. What we have is a very high level of cooperation.
Yes.
Okay. And so when these female lionesses, they go out and they do this hunting, I notice, you have some women these days that say, well, I don't need no man. And I'm just imagining that these lionesses, they go out and they say, hey girl, it's enough of us. We don't need no man. It's 10 of us. We can go out here. We can get this kill and we good. Well, just when they do that, 15, 20 hyenas show up. And now all of a sudden the lionesses are in trouble.
Yeah.
Check this out. 15 or 20 hyenas show up as these lionesses are securing the kill. 8, 10 lionesses. Now they're bigger than the hyenas, but the hyenas have the numbers, right? This is Animal Planet. Now this is real time that I'm talking about here.
Right.
And so they're starting to circle the lionesses and they're starting to harass them, and you can tell that things are going in favor of the hyenas. And then one male lion shows up. So now it's 11 lions, 20 hyenas.
Yeah.
Okay. One male lion shows up and everything changes.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if we don't get back to, well, let me just go ahead and finish the story. The male lion comes in, he breaks a couple backs, cracks a couple necks, and then the hyenas, they scatter off, right? And so what I'm saying is that it's critically important to our continued evolution and our involvement as not only as families, but as a species, really, that we have to get back to what made us great in the first place, which is the traditional family of man, woman, and child.
Yes.
When you bring that back, and then you show an appreciation for what the feminine brings to the table, and an appreciation for what the masculine brings to the table. There is no one that's greater than the other. We each, it's not about rule, it's about role.
Right.
And we both have roles that need to be honored. And when we learn to reestablish an honoring of that, I have no doubt that we can be great again, because it's in us. I mean, we are the salt of the earth, man. It doesn't get any better than us.
It is. And that's why I always talk about, you know, the name of my company, the core woman. The women are the core. And you know, me and Vaun have talked about this before, about the man being the head. Yes, when you're the head, it doesn't mean that you're more than, or you are above. It just means that this is what it is. So I always talk about how the core, when your core is out of alignment, like right now, I've had some back situations, so my core is out of alignment. I need to get my body together. So when your core is out of alignment, you start to have different things that happen within your body. And the woman's core being tight or not affects her legs. Her legs is where she can go, which is her children. It affects where she can go. It affects her arms or her reach, which is her community and her friends. It affects the shoulders. The shoulders is the weight of the world being on her. And then the head being her man, right? And once that core is back into alignment, everything else gets back into shape. You're not worrying about the sciatic into the nerves or your children not being in rightful place. You're not worried about your reach and your influence, because you're able to get that reach on. You're not worried about the weight of the world on your shoulders, because you got that together too. And the head is in alignment. And so when you're in alignment, it doesn't mean that I'm bigger or I'm more than you. We're just in alignment. We're already in there. And it's going to take that to get that back to respect to where the head is, and not, oh, you know, he ain't making enough money for me. Oh, I'm doing better than him. No, respect. And I talked about this the last video we had. Respect is given. It is not earned. Trust is earned. So you have to trust to respect. But you have to respect to trust, but you still have to respect. And so when we get to the place where we respect who the man is in our community, even the man, even if you're a single woman and there's a man in your community that is trying to say something about your little boy being disrespectful, don't go, oh, you don't talk to my son. That's a problem, because there's no respect for the man. And that has been, again, that whole programming, you know, with the independent woman, and, you know, I can do bad all by myself, and all of these different things that we have been taught as Black women to, oh, I don't need him. Like, or I'm the man and the woman, or I'm the daddy and the mama. All of these types of things that we've been told and taught, that has really ruined who we are as a people. So we got some work to do, and I just, we got a lot of work to do.
I'll say this: I know that we're coming to the close of our show, and you know, so often we get consumed with what the problem is.
Yeah.
But oftentimes the solution can be found within the problem itself.
Right.
And so, you know, we've been given a heavy dose of what the problems are.
Right.
I think we're you know, many of us are well aware of what the problems are, but now it's time to start finding solutions and deploying those solutions. And one of the just to the point that we made earlier, I don't remember if you or I said it, but the single most important thing that we can do is begin transforming our minds, the way that we think about what we're facing. And so this is why, you know, even though it might have seemed that I went off track and started going into all this history and stuff, I was doing that on purpose, because if you don't know where you made the wrong turn, then it's going to be hard to get back on track, if not impossible. So I again, if Michelamonè has said anything, or if I have said anything that you find valuable, don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us or both. There's no competition between me and her. So if you like her more than me, I'm okay with that. It's all good as long as you get what you need. That's the most important thing. And because we got to get this thing back on track. And I think I don't know anybody that's better equipped to do that than the two of us. So I'm looking forward to what we're doing, what we're establishing, and I think we're gonna have bigger and better things ahead.
I think so too. And part of us getting our minds right is being receptive to the information that's put out there. You know, we have to get to the place where we are open enough to, like I said, to know that there's a problem. So what can we do to fix it? And we can't do it. You can't make somebody do it. You have to be open and say, hey, how can I help? How can I do this? And one of the things in helping is to make sure that when you are, if you've sat on this live for the last hour with us, then share it. You know, share it so that some other people on your page can be able to say, man, these two right here, this is a dynamic duo right here that's going to help bring some healing to our community. Why don't you share what they're doing? Because, you know, this is going to help us. And we really gotta put our minds together and know that we can do anything. And I love the examples that he talked about earlier. For y'all who just came in, please go back and watch the replay of this. And we'll be on our YouTube page. So follow us on there. Go over to our YouTube page to make sure that you're following us on YouTube, His and Her Perspective. Make sure that you are, you know, if you haven't already been invited to our group, put a comment that you want to be in our group so we can invite you to the group too. Because we don't want, this is one of the things that I think that I can speak for us, is that we want to make sure that we're helping where you want to have help. You know, we don't want to force ourselves upon anybody. So we want to make sure that we're giving the help where it's needed. Thank you so much, Nina. She said she appreciates both of our perspectives. Let's see if you got any questions in your feed.
Let me see. I just see a lot of people watching with us, but I don't see any questions. I have one comment by Ruben. He says, great show, both of you. I could and would listen to Vaun daily. He needs a national platform, measured wisdom. Thank you, sir. Very kind words. I appreciate that. Very
much so. He is very wise. And I'm smart because I'm with him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm smart by default because I know who he is.
No, you started your own right. You know, I'm learning a lot from you, and I appreciate this connection tremendously.
I think this is great. You know, especially because like the wisdom that we have this different vibe about us, but it connects. So that's what I love, because it's great. Yeah. Collaboration, Nina says. So I don't have any. I was trying to see my feed on my personal page. Nothing on your personal page where you shared. Let me look on here.
Let me take another look.
We want to make sure that we are answering questions and comments. We don't want y'all to think that we are not listening to y'all, because we are. I'm sorry. Make sure that we are answering.
Let me see.
Yeah, got a lot of people watching.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't see it. My connection is so slow. Hold on, I'm loading my home page to make sure we're not missing any. Let's see. Christy Iwuchukwu from Nigeria. She says, great conversation. Leslie Bragel says, this is going to change lives for the better. Christy again says, I think that it takes two to tango. Both people in a relationship have to be willing to make it work, for sure.
Yeah.
Dante says, funny, when I was little, I didn't see you with glasses. That's right. I didn't wear glasses until I was, I think, maybe maybe third grade. Prior to that, my vision was really good. And even when I first started wearing glasses, my prescription was so thin that people could put my glasses on and they didn't even realize that they were prescription.
Oh,
But
wow.
over time, I ate more and more candy, more and more junk food, and my as my love for the sweets grew, my vision decreased. So here we are.
Spring Wind. Oh, she said that Black Love is actually still on. They have about 4 seasons, including Mother's Day special, as well as an active IG and YouTube. I've been following that show. I haven't seen a new one, so I
I
have
gotta
to check
check
it
it
out.
out.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Yeah, so we did good.
Yeah,
No other comments or questions for y'all. Make sure that you all are sharing. We're gonna keep telling y'all that. Share, 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 share. Sharing is caring. Follow
sure.
both of our pages so that you can keep up with the activity of what we're doing. And if we're gonna be doing some more stuff, make sure that you look out for our podcast that you can listen to on your ride to work. That's coming very soon. We got some other stuff that's in the fire, y'all.
Yep,
So
yep. Leslie Bragel says, "I know why my husband speaks so highly of Mr. Vaun." Oh, that's too kind.
oh,
Tell him I said thank you. I appreciate it.
I love
Um,
it.
James Gifford says, "Great show, family." Let's see, we have a few more here. Cheryl Lewis, that is my lovely mother. She says, "They hate you because they ain't you." Wow, teach son.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all showing me love. I love you back. I promise
Yep,
you.
I love it.
All the comments I see right now on mine, um,
Yeah, mine's froze.
man. Oh well, that's all right.
That's,
It's being
I think
recorded.
they might still have me in Facebook jail too.
You've been a bad girl. See.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
look, to your point, we have our YouTube page that we're going to be loading these videos up to. It's called His and Her Perspective. We'll be sharing that back. We have our podcast coming out with the same name, His and Her Perspective. We have a Facebook group that we just established called His and Her Perspective. So you guys stay in tune. Make sure you go and like Coach Michelamonè's page. What's your page name?
Coach Michelamonè.
Coach Michelamonè. Look at that. I'm trying
Coach
to be clever.
Michelamonè. That's it.
Yeah.
So make sure that you get on Vaun, the Love Alchemist, his page too. Make sure that you're following both of them.
And look, we ain't even got into no love alchemy yet. We're gonna have to hit y'all with a little bit of that and show y'all what that's about. We're gonna get deeper into some of this relationship talk as time goes on. Maybe even next week we might dive into a little bit of that.
Yeah, and make sure when you go into our group, ask some questions. We'll be doing some answering. We can go live, sometime and answer some of those questions that's in there.
Yep.
Yeah, good
So
stuff.
any closing thoughts?
Let me see if I had taken all my notes. Oh, you know what? Can we answer this, because I thought this was important. Why is it so important that we protect the Black love? We have to get to the place to know why it's so important. As a question was posed to me last week about the interracial or the intermingling of the races within our love. And, I kind of was like, well, people love who they love. But then again, knowing even the information I've gotten today, knowing about making sure that our Black love stays pure, and not because we don't like somebody else, but the authenticity of it is really important to maintain so that we know who we are. Because when you start blurring the lines, then you can kind of forget.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Now that's a whole nother show.
That is another show. We'll have to come back and talk about that, because we are.
I will say this, I've heard people say, why vote? Your vote don't matter, and this, that, and the third about voting. And I say, if your vote didn't matter, then people wouldn't be fighting so hard to keep you from voting. Okay.
That'll preach right there. because we have to why, like the whole question, why do they hate us so much? You have to know why all the opposition is there, because we're great people, and not just great as in, oh, we're nice. No, we are great, grand, royal people. And when you know who you are, you understand why it's so important to protect that at all costs. That means protect it when you out in the street and you see somebody acting a fool with a girl. When that means protect it when you see men or young men on the street going at each other for what? Over a piece of land that didn't belong to you. Okay, I'm sorry. That's another story too. So, if y'all believe in Black love, make sure that y'all do share this video and hashtag Black Love Matters, as well as drop a selfie of you and your boo with Black Love Matters. We love to hear that. We love to see this, because we're going to be able to see when we check out our hashtag Black Love Matters. We'll be able to see y'all, and y'all supporting us. We love y'all so much.
Yeah.
So we thank y'all. Anything else for you? Any other?
No. I want to echo those sentiments that Black love absolutely does matter. And again, it has nothing. Look, just because I love my house don't mean I hate your house.
Yes.
This means I love my house.
That's it.
The end.
Period. This was great. Thank you so much, Vaun, for all your wisdom. And I am so glad to know who you are.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I must owe you some money or something that you're trying to get back from me. I don't know, but thank you for those kind words.
Of course.
Nina Brooks just said something. I couldn't pull that back up. But
we are valuable, she said. We are valuable.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So thank you so much, y'all. We had a good showing here today. We appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all get back with us next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on His and Her Perspective. Coach Michelamonè out.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Vaun, the Love Alchemist. I'm out. Love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.